This is what happens when you finally let go. Not when you try to let go, not when you think about letting go, but when you truly, completely surrender the grip you've been holding on your old identity, your expired relationships, your fear of the unknown. Right now, in this exact moment, you might be feeling like everything is falling apart, like the ground beneath you is crumbling, like nothing makes sense anymore. And every single person around you seems to be moving forward while you feel stuck in this strange liminal space between who you were and who you're becoming. But what if I told you that this disintegration you're experiencing isn't destruction at all? What if this is the universe's most sophisticated way of recalibrating your entire frequency to match the version of you that's already awake in a parallel timeline? What's happening to you right now has a quantum explanation that nobody talks about. And by the end of this video, I'm going to show you the exact energetic shift that occurs the moment you finally let go, and why this one act of surrender is the most powerful manifestation tool you've ever been given. Stay with me until the end, because in the final moments of this video, I'll reveal the hidden signal your higher self has been sending you through your pain and how to decode it. Letting go is not what you think it is. It's not about forgetting someone you loved. It's not about pretending you don't care. It's not about spiritual bypassing or forcing yourself to be okay with things that hurt you deeply. Letting go is an energetic death and rebirth happening simultaneously in your quantum field. If you're here watching this, you're probably in one of those life phases where everything feels uncertain. Maybe you just ended a relationship that once defined you. Maybe you left a career, a city, a version of yourself that no longer fits. Maybe you're experiencing this strange emptiness, this void where your old identity used to be and you don't know who you are anymore. You wake up some mornings with a weight in your chest that has no name. You see the same numbers everywhere. You feel like the universe is whispering something to you, but you can't quite hear the words. And the loneliest part? Nobody around you seems to understand what you're going through. They tell you to move on, to get over it, to be strong. But this isn't about strength. This is about transformation. And transformation, real transformation, feels like dying while you're still alive. This channel exists for people like you. People who know there's something bigger happening beneath the surface of their pain. People who feel the quantum field shifting, even if they don't have the language for it yet. This is where spirituality, consciousness, and energy meet to decode what your soul is actually experiencing. So let me ask you something. How many times have you tried to let go of something only to find yourself holding on tighter? How many times have you felt like you're stuck in the same loop, the same pattern, the same emotional frequency, no matter how much you try to change? That's because letting go isn't something you do with your mind. It's something that happens in your energy field when you finally stop resisting the death of who you used to be. And that's exactly what we're going to explore today. When you hold on to something that's meant to leave your life, you create what quantum physics calls interference patterns in your energy field. Think of your consciousness as a radio station. Every thought, every emotion, every attachment you carry broadcasts at a specific frequency. When you're aligned with your true self, with your soul's purpose, the signal is clear. You feel flow. You feel synchronicity. You feel like life is moving through you effortlessly, but when you hold on to what's no longer yours to carry, your frequency splits. Part of you is trying to move forward into your new timeline, while another part of you is anchored in the past, in the old story, in the old identity. And this creates static. This creates the anxiety, the insomnia, the feeling of being pulled in two directions at once. You're not broken. You're not regressing. You're experiencing quantum dissonance. Your higher self, the version of you that exists beyond time, beyond this physical dimension, has already let go. That version of you is already living in the reality you're trying to manifest. It's already free. It's already whole. It's already aligned. But your human self, the part of you that's here in the third dimension, dealing with emotions and memories and fear, is still gripping, still trying to control, still trying to make sense of why things had to end the way they did. And this is where the energetic battle happens. This is where you feel torn apart. Every time you replay the past in your mind, every time you check their social media, every time you wonder what if, you're sending your energy backwards in time. You're feeding the old timeline. You're keeping yourself vibrationally locked in a reality that no longer exists except in your field. The universe doesn't respond to what you want. The universe responds to what you are. If you're still holding on, you're energetically telling the universe, I'm not ready for the new. I'm still invested in the old. Even if consciously you're saying, I want to move on, I want to heal, I want something different. Your energy speaks louder than your words. So what happens when you finally let go, when you truly energetically release? Your field collapses into coherence. The interference pattern dissolves, and suddenly the path forward becomes clear. Not because anything external changed, but because you stopped broadcasting the frequency of resistance. Letting go is not passive. It's not giving up. It's the most active, powerful choice you can make because it requires you to trust something you cannot see. It requires you to step into the void, into the unknown, into the space where your old identity dies and your true self is born. And I know how terrifying that is because the void has no guarantees. The void doesn't tell you what's coming next. The void just asks you to surrender. But here's what they don't tell you about the void. The void is not empty. The void is full of infinite potential. It's the quantum field itself, the space where all possibilities exist simultaneously, waiting for your consciousness to choose. When you let go, you enter the void. And in the void, you remember who you really are. Now let's talk about what's actually happening in the quantum field when you let go. In quantum mechanics, there's a principle called superposition. It means that a particle exists in all possible states simultaneously until it's observed. The act of observation collapses the wave function and creates one specific reality. Your life works the same way. Right now, there are infinite versions of you existing across infinite timelines. There's a version of you that never let go, that's still holding on, still replaying the past, still waiting for something that will never come. And there's a version of you that already released, that already healed, that's already living in complete alignment with your soul's purpose. Both versions exist. Both are real. Both are happening right now in the quantum field. The question is, which one are you collapsing into reality with your attention? Because here's the truth they don't teach you. Your attention is not passive. Your attention is creative. Where you place your focus, you place your energy. And where you place your energy, you create your experience. Every morning you wake up, you're standing at a quantum intersection. You can choose to feed the timeline where you're still broken, still hurt, still defined by what you lost. Or you can choose to feed the timeline where you're becoming, where you're expanding, where you're stepping into the highest version of yourself. And letting go is the bridge. Letting go is how you shift from one timeline to another. Your higher self has been trying to guide you towards this moment. Every synchronicity you've seen, every repeating number, every strange coincidence, every person who suddenly appeared or disappeared from your life, none of it is random. It's your higher self communicating through the language of energy, trying to show you the way forward. But your higher self can't force you. It can only guide you. Because you have free will. You have the power to choose which reality you want to inhabit. And as long as you're holding on, you're choosing the old reality. You're choosing the identity that's dissolving. You're choosing suffering over transformation. I know that sounds harsh, but sometimes the most loving thing you can hear is the truth. Here's what happens the moment you let go. Your energy field releases the old frequency. The attachment dissolves. And in that instant, you become available to a completely different timeline. A timeline that was always there, always waiting, but that you couldn't access because you were energetically unavailable. Think of it like tuning a radio. As long as you're tuned to 98.5 FM, you can only hear what's broadcasting on that frequency. You can want a different song all you want, but until you change the dial, you're stuck with what's playing. Letting go is changing the dial. And the moment you do, everything shifts. Not always immediately in the physical world, because matter moves slower than energy. But in the quantum field, the shift is instant. And once the shift happens energetically, the physical reality has no choice but to follow. This is why people say, the moment I stopped caring, everything I wanted showed up. It's not that you stopped caring, it's that you stopped forcing, you stopped trying to control. You stopped gripping the old timeline with such intensity that you couldn't see the new one materializing around you. Your soul doesn't want you to forget your past. Your soul wants you to integrate it, learn from it, and then release it so you can evolve. Because you didn't come here to stay the same. You came here to transform. You came here to experience every version of yourself until you remember the one version that's eternal. The one that was never broken, the one that's been watching this whole journey with compassion. That's your higher self. And it's not somewhere far away. It's right here inside you, waiting for you to stop resisting and start remembering. So how do you actually align with the version of yourself that's already free, the version that already let go? First, you need to understand something fundamental. That version of you isn't something you need to become. It's something you need to remember. You're not building a new self. You're removing everything that was never you in the first place. All the identities you've worn, all the roles you've played to be accepted, to be loved, to be enough. All the stories you've told yourself about who you are based on your wounds, your failures, your past. None of that is your true self. It's just layers of conditioning, trauma, and fear that accumulated over time. And when you let go, you're not losing yourself. You're finding yourself underneath all of that. But here's where most people get stuck. They think letting go is a one-time event, one decision, one moment of surrender, and then it's done. But letting go is a practice. It's a daily choice. It's a continuous returning to the present moment, to your center, to the truth of who you are, beyond the noise of your mind. Because your ego will fight this. Your ego's job is to keep you safe, and safety to the ego means staying the same. It means holding on to what's familiar, even if what's familiar is painful. Because at least pain is predictable. At least suffering is something you know how to navigate. The unknown, though, the void, the space where anything is possible, that terrifies the ego, so it will give you every reason to hold on. It will tell you that if you let go, you'll lose yourself. You'll be forgotten. You'll end up alone. You'll regret it. It will replay every memory, every moment, every reason why you should keep trying, keep hoping, keep waiting. And this is where you need to become aware. Aware of the voice that's speaking, aware that it's not your soul, it's your fear. Your soul speaks differently. Your soul doesn't argue, it doesn't justify, it doesn't need to convince you of anything. Your soul simply knows. And when you quiet the noise, when you drop into your heart, into your body, into the stillness beneath your thoughts, you can feel it. You can feel the truth, and the truth is always the same. What's meant for you will never require force. What's meant for you will flow. And what you're holding on to with such desperation is not meant for this version of you, for this timeline, for this chapter of your evolution. So here's the practice. Here's how you align. Every day, every moment you notice yourself gripping, replaying, ruminating, ask yourself, am I feeding the timeline where I'm free or the timeline where I'm stuck? That's it. That simple question will bring you back to your power, because you can't control what happened. You can't control what other people do. You can't control how things ended or why they had to end. But you can control where you place your attention, and your attention determines your vibration, and your vibration determines your reality. When you catch yourself scrolling through old photos, stop, breathe, and consciously choose to redirect your energy toward the life you're creating, not the life you're mourning. When you catch yourself imagining conversations that will never happen, scenarios that will never unfold, stop, breathe, and ask your higher self, what do I need to know right now? What's trying to emerge through this pain? Because your pain is not meaningless. Your pain is information. It's showing you where you're still attached, where you're still identifying with something external, where you're still believing that your worth is tied to someone or something outside of yourself. And every time you let go of one more layer, one more attachment, one more false identity, you become lighter, you become clearer, you become more aligned with the frequency of your soul. This is the alchemy. This is the real manifestation work that nobody talks about. It's not about visualizing what you want. It's about releasing what's blocking you from receiving it. And what's blocking you is always the same thing. Your attachment to who you think you're supposed to be, based on who you've been. But you're not who you've been. You're who you're becoming. And who you're becoming is who you've always been, underneath everything else. The version of you that's already awake, already free, already whole, is not waiting for you in the future. It's calling you from inside this present moment, asking you to let go and come home. Now I want to give you something practical, something you can do today, right after this video ends, to begin the energetic process of letting go. This is not a technique. This is not a hack. This is a sacred conversation with your own soul. Find a quiet moment. It doesn't need to be long. 5 minutes is enough. Sit somewhere comfortable, close your eyes, and place one hand on your heart. Feel your heartbeat. Feel the rhythm of life moving through you. That rhythm was there before this pain, and it will be there after. That rhythm is older than your story. It's the pulse of the universe inside your chest. Now bring to mind whatever you're holding on to, the person, the situation, the version of yourself that you're grieving. Don't push it away. Don't judge yourself for still feeling it. Just acknowledge it. Say silently or out loud, I see you. I feel you. I honor what this meant to me. Because that's the first step. Honoring what was. Not pretending it didn't matter, not spiritually bypassing your grief, but acknowledging the role it played in your evolution. And then, when you're ready, say this, I release you with love. I release you back to the universe. You are no longer mine to carry, and I am no longer yours to hold. Feel those words in your body, not just in your mind. Let them move through your chest, your stomach, your throat. Let them vibrate in your cells. You might cry. You might feel resistance. You might feel a wave of panic, like you're betraying something sacred by letting go. That's normal. That's your ego trying to hold on one more time. Breathe through it, stay with it, and repeat, I am safe in the unknown. I am held by something greater than my fear. I trust the intelligence of my soul. This is the moment where the shift begins. Not because you said the perfect words, but because you made a choice, a quantum choice, a choice to stop feeding the old timeline and start aligning with the new one. And here's what I want you to understand. Letting go doesn't mean the memories disappear. It doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop letting those memories define your present. You stop letting the past dictate your frequency. You can honor what was and still choose what is. After you finish this practice, I want you to do one more thing. Write down 3 things that are only possible because you let go. 3 doors that can only open because you released your grip on the one that closed. Maybe it's the freedom to rediscover who you are without someone else's expectations. Maybe it's the space to finally pursue the calling you've been ignoring. Maybe it's the clarity to see that you were settling for less than your soul came here to experience. Write them down, because this is how you train your consciousness to see letting go not as loss, but as liberation. Your higher self has been orchestrating this entire experience. Every ending, every disappointment, every moment of loneliness was designed to bring you here, to this exact point, to this exact frequency, to this exact awakening. Nothing was wasted, nothing was random, and nothing that's truly meant for you can ever be lost. When you let go, you're not losing anything real, you're releasing the illusion. And in that space, in that openness, in that surrender, the universe can finally deliver what your soul has been asking for all along. Not what your ego wanted, not what your fear demanded, but what your soul knows you're ready for. And maybe that's the hardest part. Trusting that your soul knows better than your mind. Trusting that the intelligence guiding your life is far greater than your limited human perspective. But that's what faith is. Not believing in something outside of you, but trusting the wisdom inside of you that's connected to everything. You are not alone in this. You have never been alone. You are held by the same force that spins galaxies and grows forests and turns winter into spring. And just like the tree that lets go of its leaves to survive the winter, you are letting go so that new life can emerge. This is your season of release. And on the other side of this release is a version of you that you can't even imagine yet. A version that's lighter, freer, more aligned, more powerful. Trust the process. Trust the timing. Trust yourself. So let me bring you back to the promise I made at the beginning of this video. The hidden signal your higher self has been sending you through your pain. Here it is. Every time something or someone leaves your life, every time you're forced to let go, every time you feel like everything is falling apart, your higher self is saying one thing: you are ready for more. You are ready to remember. You are ready to become. The pain is not punishment. The pain is initiation. It's the universe dismantling everything that was built on fear, on lack, on the false belief that you needed something outside of yourself to be complete. And yes, it feels like death, because it is death, the death of illusion, the death of the small self, the death of the version of you that thought it had to hold on to survive. But what's being born in its place is your true power, your true essence, the you that existed before the world told you who to be. Letting go is not about losing. It's about returning to yourself, returning to your center, returning to the truth that you are whole, you are enough, and you always have been. This video ends here, but the process it awakened in you is just beginning. You didn't find this message by accident. You found it because some part of you, the deepest part, was ready to hear it. So here's what I want you to carry with you as you move forward. You are not the story of what you lost. You are the space where new realities are born. And the moment you let go, the moment you truly surrender, you give the universe permission to show you what's been waiting for you all along. Trust the unraveling. It's making space for the becoming.